Hello there, and welcome back to Exploring Kundalini. As you can tell, it's been quite some time since I've uploaded anything on this channel. That's simply because I was lazy and had other priorities. But I guarantee from now on, you're going to be receiving a weekly video. If you need a refresher on what this channel was about, what Kundalini is, etc., I would recommend you check out my first video where I cover all the theoretical details. So, just to refresh, the main questions I want to be covering are: does Kundalini exist? Is it even real? Will awakening Kundalini change my experience of life? If so, how? For example, yogis claim that by awakening Kundalini and it rising through the chakras, you can experience realities beyond the five senses. So we're just going to be testing if there's validity to that claim. Can Kundalini really be awakened within 2 years? And does Kundalini awakening and self-realization really lead to true happiness? That sounds so weird. Anyway, when it comes to awakening Kundalini, Kriya Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, etc., there are 1,001 approaches. I highly recommend the books by Santata Gamana. Simply because you don't have to deal with any spiritual dogmatic bullshit as you usually would have to in spiritual organizations. Not to mention the techniques are incredibly potent. So the protocol I'm going to be using to explore Kundalini is actually pretty straightforward. The most important item being the spiritual practice, obviously, which I'll be performing twice per day in the mornings and in the evenings. And in the weekly videos, providing a detailed description of the practices completed. I'll also be practicing a yogic diet and intermittent fasting. There will be a future video where I elaborate on that topic. Brahmacharya, which is also very important, the cultivation and transmutation of sexual energy for spiritual purposes. Dopamine detox, so none of this is going to work if I'm addicted to cheap sources of dopamine, so I'm going to be using the Freedom app to block certain sections of the internet. And in the weekly videos, I'm going to do my absolute best to be radically honest with you. And I think this is a shared experience for anybody who's tried to establish a new habit. If you don't have anybody that you're accountable towards, it's easy to fool yourself. And by sharing my struggles and difficulties with you openly, I hope to avoid that particular pitfall. Many spiritual teachers also recommend taking a vow. During my time at a spiritual organization, I did feel that taking a vow had a significant mental effect in the sense that there was less wiggle room and my pledges had a certain firmness to them, so I wasn't going to break them as easily. So that's why I'm taking a 5-year vow, which includes me not consuming drugs of any kind, practicing sadhana twice daily, which I already mentioned, and practicing brahmacharya. Yep, and that's all for now. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I will see you next week.